Hi everybody, it's Chloe Baggins.
And I am Bushido.
Bushido?
That's right. And that's Mr. Bushido to all of you. And welcome back.
That was a big heart.
That was a big Bushido loves you. Hey.
Hey ladies.
Dinner and a show.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. And today we are reviewing the latest Denzel Washington release on HBO Max, The Little Things.
The little things that count.
With Rami Malek and Jared Leto. And man, I enjoyed this movie. I was sucked in the moment I saw Denzel. It's been a while, I feel like, since Denzel had a big movie release.
What was the last?
I can't even remember the last movie I saw him in.
Yeah, Equalizer 2.
Yeah, Equalizer 2. That was years ago, though.
Yeah, but that wasn't, that's like the most recent Denzel movie we saw in the theater.
But this was a good movie. It was an old school, grizzled, dark and gritty cop crime drama thriller. I really liked it.
It was really well done.
What a great, compelling story. And it, of course, there's a killer on the loose, and Denzel teams up with Rami Malek, and you kind of just go from there. But I think what really works so well is the chemistry between Rami Malek's character and Denzel is so on point.
I really enjoyed Rami Malek. I've only ever saw him in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Fantastic.
So that's all I see now. But now that I'm going back and watching like old movies, he pops up in a lot of things that I didn't realize. Like, I told you I was watching the Twilight Saga recently, and he shows up as a vampire that comes to help them. So that was kind of cool to see, like, oh my god, it's Rami Malek. And he's just a little doll, Like,
he does such a good job. I mean, little things from the mannerisms in his face, the characteristics of his character, just the way his body posture, how he reacts off of Denzel, and how he's like the lead on the case of trying to catch the killer. I really appreciated those little, like you said, nuances that he put to his like straight man character, while Denzel's more of the rogue cop when you'd think it'd be the other way around.
Well, that's what they really nail that point into the ground about how Rami Malek's character is super Christian, and Deacon, Denzel's character, is not a spiritual man. He doesn't really believe in religion, and they even talk about why he got passed up for 15 years with the perfect record, and he never got promoted once, and so he.
There's this big mystery as to what happened in Denzel's history.
But he even says,
Rami Malek,
I wasn't the right religion.
Essentially, Rami Malek took Denzel Washington's position in that elite unit that's investigating this case. And so the whole movie, you're like, well,
why?
Why? What happened to Denzel's character? Clearly, people at the department respect him. And loved him. You can clearly see they revere him as a person and as the cop that he was in the department. But it's like, why is he gone? Why is he kind of this former shell of himself? He's clearly haunted by something in his past. And as Rami Malek and Denzel continue trying to solve this case, more and more tidbits of Denzel's history comes up. And you start to see the parallels between Rami Malek's character and the path he might go down. And if he continues down this path, he might end up as Denzel. He lost his wife. He lost his 2 daughters. Turns out Rami Malek has 2 daughters and a beautiful wife and a beautiful home. Did you notice how like the cinematography gets very bright and warm when they're like at Rami Malek's house, when Denzel comes over for breakfast? But the rest of the movie is very like dark and very just, you know what I mean?
It's because it was shot mostly at night.
Well, I mean, I just felt like it was so much just colorful, so much more colorful in the house. Like it was a safe haven. Like that was the one safe place Rami Malek's character had. And so, of course, we have to talk about Jared Leto's character, the inevitable killer, or is he the killer? That's the big twist. That's the big revelation at the end. And man, Jared Leto, man, when you see him, it's just like, wow, he's just coked out, meth head looking, talking real weird. I mean, he's got the Jesus haircut going. Like, dude, you really
It's a
transformed.
big old pot belly.
He got a belly. I mean, I don't know if it's a prosthetic or if he really, I mean, he's a method actor, so he probably really got in that kind of shape for
Yeah,
it.
but you can't, when you're, he's always been in shape, so it's hard to like, how do you put on weight just in one
Yeah,
specific?
because he's really gaunt, and then
Yeah.
he's got this beer belly at the bottom. I mean, he just looks, he's walking with his feet out facing this. I mean, his whole character, I mean, he really, like, just creeps you out, you know? And so the whole time, they're like, you know, Rami Malek's like, that's our killer. But Denzel's like, we have no proof. We're going on your gut instinct. What proof do we have to arrest this man? He may very well be the killer, but we can't prove it using the law, using the red tape of the law. And that is the big conflict of this movie, which eventually parallels the lives of Denzel's character and Rami Malek and how they may end up being like each other or not at the very end of the movie, right?
Absolutely.
Man, I enjoyed this movie.
I was actually surprised. I didn't know much about it. I just saw it show up on HBO Max.
I was like, Denzel Washington, gun in his hand?
That's all you had to say, though.
Let's
was
watch it,
Denzel.
yeah. Yep. I mean, Denzel's flawless. I mean, he's looking like Uncle Denzel now. You know what I mean?
But I think that's part of the character.
Yeah,
that
it's
he's
definitely like an old, just
older,
been through the shit, doesn't give a shit no more. He's just obsessed with, you know, trying to catch the bad guy and haunted by this mystery from his past, which we will not spoil because it'll ruin it for everybody watching it. But it was like a whoa, holy shit, crazy. Yeah.
If it's a movie that I didn't particularly know much about, I find it very hard to put my phone away. However, I found myself really wanting to watch, and I was holding my breath a lot of the time because what is going to go down?
Yep.
Let's talk about the interrogations.
Thank you. We got to talk about the interrogation scene where Rami Malek is interrogating Jared Leto's maybe not killer, and then Denzel's watching through the
one-way mirror.
The one-way mirror, and then now if you take that scene, okay, and you make Jared Leto's performance, you make him the Joker in that, holding everything constant in that scene, but he's the Joker, acting the way that he did in this movie, and pretend that Denzel and Rami Malek are just two good cops in Gotham PD. Batman, Christian Bale's not there slamming heads into mirrors yet. That's a really good Joker. Like, we were watching it, I'm like, wouldn't that be a crazy Joker scene? Like him being interrogated by two cops in Gotham? Like, it was good. He was good. I mean, he was just like creepy and getting under your skin. And, you see Denzel just wanting to just throw him up against the wall. And the way he's taunting the cops so calmly and so...
like getting off on it.
It's just like, that's so Joker. So that's just proof
that Jared Leto could have been a fantastic Joker.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you are beyond talented to be a really good Joker. But he was not given
the right script, and that's a whole other review.
It's a whole other review, a whole other movie. It's just, every time I see an interrogation scene now, I always go back to the Dark Knight's interrogation scene. Because that's just masterclass.
With Christian Bale.
With Christian Bale and Heath Ledger in the Dark Knight. That's just masterclass filmmaking. No explosions, no gunfire.
All acting.
It's all acting, and they're literally having a conversation. And in that conversation, you see how far ahead the villain is than the heroes. And that's what makes it so compelling. And so we're watching it, and I'm like, pretend he's the Joker right now. But hold everything else constant. What an amazing Joker he would have made. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. Oh man, blew me away.
Jared Leto is a fantastic actor.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. All three of these guys.
Yes. And I think this was a great pairing for all three of them.
Yeah.
I am glad it came to HBO Max. I think HBO Max is doing a fantastic job with the movies that they're bringing in. What would you rate this movie?
Oh man, this movie for me, I would give it a very solid 8 out of 10 Bagginses. And the only reason why it's not higher is because the ending, the way the movie was played out, so tense and so so detail oriented, so obsessed with trying to find the killer and trying to bring him to justice. The ending, like the big resolution, final confrontation, did not happen the way I thought it would. It's very like, whoa, like, is that how it happened? Like, is that what they're gonna do? And it's just the way that the conflict is resolved with the two cops and Jared Leto's character,
without spoiling too much,
without spoiling anything, was not how I expected it to go. The way the movie was just building and building and building up, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that, you know. But as far as the performances go, fantastic. The moment I saw Denzel, I was already cheering for him. The moment I saw Rami Malek, I was already picking away at his facial mannerisms, the way he's talking. I mean, and you see how in the beginning he's so in control. Like, he's telling everybody what to do. He's even, he's even going back and forth with Denzel. But then as the movie goes and you see Rami Malek slowly just losing it. And, and Denzel's there to be like, hey, snap out of it. You don't want to go down this path.
Yeah.
That was very, very compelling and very intriguing. I really got sucked into it. So for me, 8 out of 10 Bagginses. You?
I think 7 out of 10 Bagginses.
What?
Because it didn't answer a lot of questions.
Okay.
So without spoiling too much, at the end of the movie, I was still left wondering, did he or did he not?
That's part of the mystery and the revelation of the film.
So I like movies, regardless of whether the villain lives or dies, the hero lives or dies. I want to know everything, especially when it's a psychological thriller like this.
Yeah, this one definitely.
I was left wanting more. And if you've watched any of our previous, reviews of anything, I am a sucker for lots of information. Even if it's clues, they don't have to say anything. I think a lot of people are smart enough to be able to pick up on things, but there wasn't enough clues to be able to even figure it out for yourself. So that's why it's 7 out of 10. The movie itself is fantastic.
And plus the resolution of the movie, it ties so much into the moral ambiguity of good cops trying to bring in the bad guy without having enough evidence. It's like, are we going to go with our gut instinct because I know in my heart that's the killer? Or are we restricted by red tape and we risk more people getting killed? It's tied into that gray area of the moral compass. These guys, they're not Batman. Batman can go in and beat the hell out of anybody he wants because he's Batman, but these guys are restricted by their badges. And they're like, what do I do? And what is the collateral damage that the cops, in trying to save people from these killers, what happens to them? That's another good and major plot point in this film. And the way that Denzel and Rami Malek's characters parallel each other, you see who Denzel used to be in Rami Malek's character, and you see who he might end up in Denzel's character. That was fantastic.
One more time?
Fantastic.
One more time?
Fantastic.
Jazz hands!
Man, such a good job. Such a good job. So for me, 8 out of 10 Bagginses.
7 out of 10.
And I highly recommend you watch this movie.
Yes, absolutely. Please don't let my 7 out of 10.
Yeah, it's still a good movie for 7.
It is a really good movie, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, you have different movie tastes.
Yes, I just wanted more.
And that's the whole point of reviewing movies.
Heck yeah. So, what did you guys think if you watched it? Have you watched it yet?
Did it blow your mind?
Did it? Yeah. What did you guys think about Jared Leto's character?
Oh man!
Did you guys think he did it? Do you think he didn't do it?
That's the part. That's the ooh man of the movie.
So, with that being said, make sure you guys subscribe to our channel. If you haven't already, make sure to click that bell so you guys can get alerts so you find out when we have new videos.
Yeah, hey, come with us. Come along on this YouTube journey.
Come on, little fella.
I promise it'll be worth your time.
Worth your time.
Yes. Come along.
We think we're funny.
I mean, I laugh at myself all the time.
You laugh at me too.
I do.
But not in the way that I would want him to. Anyway, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Here is our TikTok and Instagram handle. Follow us on social media. And
be good to yourself and to those around you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and no matter what, be excellent to each other.
And Wakanda forever.
And ever.